Hi guys, so I'm back after several days that I haven't done a video and everything is fine. Some people emailed me asking if everything is okay. Yes, everything is fine. Um, I guess two things. One thing is that the videos really do take a long time, not necessarily because of the videos, like recording the videos or doing the reading themselves, but because it takes quite a while to do the reading and then create the graphics and then do the editing, overlay, and so forth and exporting. That takes almost 2 times as much as even sometimes longer than the actual reading. That's one. And then two, I have deadlines going on, my other work, and I also started doing readings. And that takes a long time. And it's interesting because I wasn't sure how it was going to work in terms of doing readings outside of this, right? Outside of doing readings about people we all know. And what I realized is that I have to go really deep. I can't do just one question, or even I have to find out the motives or the reasons, everything behind the questions, so that in a way makes everything take longer, but it's more satisfying. Okay, so all of these delays in a way have to do, I think, ultimately with quality control, because if you want something better, you can't just do it very quickly, right? I know a lot of people have asked for changes and I made changes myself, but the reality is the higher the quality, by production quality, the longer it's going to take. And I think another thing that happened too was that a friend of mine came into town, a very good friend, and we hung out, and I detached a little bit from the news in a good way. And I thought, you know what, it's actually good to feel that. And I almost feel like we've reached a turning point, even though it doesn't look like it. I feel more relaxed about everything. And I think, in a way, it's good to detach from this, okay, 24/7 constantly. And I realized too that no matter how many hours I put into this, I am never going to stop the amount of news coming out. And I'll never be able to predict everything. So these are some of the reasons, okay, why I haven't been doing as many videos. And I think it's also realistic to diminish the number of videos that I do because, like I said, I don't think I can carry on doing this as much for super long, at least until the next, I don't know, until one couple months or something like that. And then two, yeah, I think everybody should have a life outside of this, right? It's not 24/7. And now that I feel like I figure out the format, I need to go back to everything that I was doing. And I know that a lot of people have said amazing things about the channel. And even for me, I've learned a lot from reading the comments, from presentation, from following what I see on the screen. But at the same time, like I said, I can't do everything and I have a life, basically. Okay, and I'm sure everybody feels the same way, right? You can't do everything all the time. So, and I really do have a deadline coming up. So it's not, I know that for now, I think it's realistic. It's good to be realistic because I need to sleep. I need to do normal things that normal people do. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the reading today. The reading today is about Rex Tillerson and the State Department. I just want to say that this is one of three because I had done an earlier reading on him, and he's one of the people that I've always been pretty much the day he was nominated. I was like, no way, are you kidding? This guy is like best friends with Putin, and he had never met Trump before he was nominated. So if you put two and two together, you don't need cards to understand what's going on here. It's pretty obvious, right? And there is also this conversation about the Rosneft, which is this Russian oil company, and something that was mentioned in that Trump dossier, something about that part of it would go to either Trump or I'm sure Tillerson was involved or must be involved in some way. Okay, so anyway, so I always thought it was extremely suspicious that he is in the State Department, and then we have this horrible news every day about how he's cutting left and right the State Department until it pretty much doesn't exist, which in itself, I mean, I don't know how you can put this as anything positive to the country, right? I don't think it's positive. It's never going to be positive. So basically, I have so many questions about him because like I said, I think I've done an earlier reading that confirmed some of my suspicions, but now there are more questions and more details. And although I won't do the super intensive reading for every little question that I have about him, I wrote down all the questions and I'm going to split into 3 days. And today I'm going to do the first 4 questions I have about him, which are, what is going on basically with the State Department? And then, will the State Department be able to recover from the mass firings put into place by Tillerson? And then 3, what is Tillerson's goal? And 4, what is Tillerson's motivation? Okay, so you can see here now that I'm moving on to the section with the 4 questions and the 4 readings. I separated, these are meant to be read separately, okay? And the red number is for the actual reading and question, and then the number of the cards is meant for the card order because I shuffled once and I asked all these questions. Okay, so so that it comes from the same place, so that's why it's numbered like that. Okay, all right, so let's look at what's going on here. We have the 8 of Swords reversed, Mountains. We have Queen of Wands, Whip, the Devil, and Anchor. And if let's getting started with the Lenormand, I would see it as long term. Just creating the Lenormand storyline, I would think of it as painful long term difficulties. Okay, so in a way, that's what's going on. It's like you have here the 8 of Swords upside down, which to me means, and you have the Devil, which in a way means a person created an internal jail for themselves. Okay, so what's going on are a lot of infighting and internally created problems, right? We know that doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the inside. And we have the Devil, which to me at the baseline means, it just means man-made, right? Everything that the Devil, in the case of the Devil, when the Devil is involved, everything is man-made. So we have here the energy, and we have the Queen of Wands, which to me just indicates the wands. It's the purest form of wands at the highest level energy. So the energy is focused on fighting to make this permanent and to create difficulties that are long term. Okay, so because again, like I said, because we have the Devil, all of this is not, it comes from something internal, not external. Okay, and I think that's visible to everyone, right? It seems it's interesting that you have this Anchor card, which suggests long-term permanence, and you also have the Mountain, which also suggests long-term challenges. And it's almost like, if you read it, long-term, how painful through a long term. So in a way, they're trying to create this long-term change. They're fighting, they're really pushing to create this long-term change, okay? And then let's look at number 2. will the State Department be able to recover from the mass firings put into place by Tillerson? So looking at reading number 2, we have Page of Pentacles reversed, we have the Bear, and then we have Six of Swords, the Garden, we have Ace of Cups reversed, and the Tree. And that would indicate to me that, just looking at the Lenormand, I think it's basically the public profile, the public boss, the public face of the State Department will grow. It's also the card related to money. So in a way, the role, I would say the public role will grow again, right? Because we have basically the Page of Wands reversed in some ways is the card of the bullying, the meanness, the fire energy upside down. So that's like fighting, anger management, so anger problems, okay? And the Six of Swords is a good card for that position because it means moving on to something better, literally, going from the shaky waters to still waters. And we have here the position 6, the Ace of Cups upside down, which means low morale. Basically, the Cups is love, and the first energy of love is the Ace of Cups, but it's upside down, which means it's kind of forlorn and sad, but it's going to grow from that. Okay, I feel that the Lenormand cards are excellent, so everything indicates to me that it will grow, that the public profile will grow. Okay, that it's not permanent, because we saw the number 1, they wanted to make it permanent, but here it doesn't. I don't feel that there's decay in here. On the contrary, there's growth. Okay, and there's the tree here also indicates permanence. So it's going to grow into something better. It's going to in a way get over this low morale and all those things that are happening right now, which I believe are happening. Okay, now I'll talk about number 3 and number 4. 2 important points here that I was surprised. So I want to bring your attention to the difference between the goal and the motivation. It's interesting because I thought when I asked the question of the goal, I thought, oh, he has his goal for the State Department. Okay, but I realized that the question I asked was goal for himself, and that's a big difference. Okay, so he wants here, if you look at the goal, it seems very positive. Like he wants connection he wants a partnership, okay, to a specific country, to move on from where it is. He wants a promotion with or through the White House, and he wants a deal, to be public recognition for a deal, and he wants all the things are excellent. The goals are excellent, but I don't know that these goals are for himself or for the State Department, and whether he actually believes. Because the thing I question about him is that I just don't think that there's anything to be. I don't believe the changes he's doing there are, what's the word? Genuine. But he's not. I don't believe he's doing this because he wants the best for the country. That's my belief. But I'm seeing here that his goal is something else. It's like he wants a deal and he wants promotion alongside or beyond the White House. So maybe that's what he wants for himself. Okay. All right. So now you have, this is super interesting, the number 4. I think it's the more interesting of them, the most interesting of them. So the question here is, what is his motivation? Okay. So we have the 6 of Pentacles upside down. We have the 2 of Wands. We have Justice overturned. And then we have Child, Scythe, and the Clover. So putting these together, just a Lenormand alone, I see the ending to creating an ending to something new in order to get an opportunity. or an opportunity brings an end to something new. Okay, so I don't know that it makes a lot of sense, but if we look at the tarot and the Lenormands together, I thought, oh wow, this is perfect, because according to the dossier, or I read somewhere this, that the Rosneft deal was something that once they said something like, if you lift the sanctions, we'll give you 20% or 19% of Rosneft shares, something like that. So we have here the Six of Pentacles upside down, which is literally the card of being owed money. Okay, quid pro quo debt. So he is owed some money for something new, right? Which is this a new deal or something, a change. Okay, an implementation of something new. And if you look at the Two of Wands and Scythe together, what does it mean? It means that he wants to cut the plans. So what are these plans? You could argue that the plans are the plans that the State Department had before, right? And then you have right next to it the Justice overturned, and that's to me means something illegal. Okay, and if we look at the Magnitsky Act, which is the core of a lot of this crisis with Russia, which is what happened when the US decided to create sanctions against some oligarchs who were supposedly involved in the death of this lawyer who was defending someone, and I think an American or British person, who was fighting against Russian corruption. So anyway, so the whole thing about this election is that they want they want the sanctions lifted. Okay, so if we look at the site there, it makes sense. It could very well be sanctions. And the clever card here to me indicates that it's an opportunity, right? I think that he's motivated by basically an illegal opportunity to collect something he's owed by cutting the plans. Okay, so that to me tells me the bigger story here. Okay, it tells me the bigger story of why I think he's doing this. And as far as the number 3 is concerned, I just have a hard time connecting. How could you do something like number 4, right? Like be motivated to collect and do these legal things, but then also want. I guess it makes sense because the goal is for himself. I didn't ask the State Department asked about him, so he wants promotion. He wants to be. Basically, yeah, he wants a promotion through the house because of a deal. Okay, so that's what number 3 is saying. But then if we look at the motivations, like I said, to him it's an opportunity to collect. You cut the plans if he gets the opportunity to collect. This is through something probably illegal. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and I've done the other readings. I just to let you know, I've done the other readings already, and it's pretty interesting what happens, right? So I just split this into several readings because it would get too long otherwise, and I don't want to feel that I have to write it. I don't want it to be rushed. So the next chapter will be 5 through 7, which looks at whether he's committed treason and what his relationship with Putin is and what his relationship with Trump is. And then the last chapter, will Tillerson become a target of the Mueller investigation? Will Tillerson be indicted as a result of the Mueller investigation? What will be Tillerson's legacy once the Mueller investigation is over? All right? Okay, so that's that for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.